Chim, can you hear me?
I can, man. Where you at?
All
You look
right,
like
right,
you're
man. I'm coming live. I'm
right.
coming live from Colombia, man. I'm at the Pow Beach Party, man, down here, man. Do I look tropical, my guy?
Yeah, you look like you're somewhere exotic, man. But
Yeah, man.
so are you watching the game though?
I'm,
That's the real
I'm
question.
watching it on my phone. I see my Longhorns are taking care of business, man. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I'm out in Colombia celebrating the demise of Michigan, man. I'm I'm,
There you
I'm
go.
up, man. It's going, yeah.
There you go. But, hey, they got a long game ahead of them. I mean, really a long season. It looks like what I'm looking at right now. Um, yeah, what I'm looking at right now, I think the most surprising thing is the defense.
Right,
Before you get to the stuff that we know was going to be an issue, uh, you just expected that defense to carry this team and keep the games close, keep the field position battle in hand, right? Because Michigan's a team that's always really been good in winning the field position battle, winning the special teams.
right.
I mean, they're not even doing that, and it's starting to look. They're starting to look a little iffy. They're starting to look like they lost the swagger, they lost the confidence that they had the last 3 years, and
Yeah.
that confidence. The more and more I think about it, that confidence must have came from just knowing a little bit more. They just had a little. They must
They
have just
had
had a
confidence.
little bit of extra confidence on these play calls and these plays and their ability to be right. What you think?
Yeah. What Coach Fickle used to say? He used to have a saying. What he used to say? Preparation brings confidence, right? Something
Yeah.
of the sorts.
Yes.
Right. So I mean, knowing a little bit more, knowing if it's a pass situation, a run situation, or like my man K say, a screen situation, knowing this information kind of helps you out a ton here. So all of a sudden you don't know it, and then all of a sudden you kind of start looking like the player you are, which is a Michigan Wolverine.
Yeah, and to me, it's surprising because the talent they still got the talent on defense. Let's keep it real. Like they have talented guys on the defensive side of the ball. Their scheme is pretty much the same defensive scheme. Obviously, they got a new defensive coordinator, and there's going to be some changes within that. But they just are not executing at the same level. I mean, open field
Right.
tackle. I don't care I don't care what it is. Open field tackle last year with some of these defensive backs, they were going to make the play. Open field tackle in this game, they're missing. And people don't understand like the margin of error when you get to this level of highly competitive sports is really, really small.
That's
Small
right.
margin of
That's right.
error to turn a game from 3-3 to 24-3. And
Yep. Yep.
they're missing. And then look at the offense, man. I think where the talent has dipped a little bit is on the offensive line. And I don't know if I would say talent so much as just what they had last year in terms of their cohesion.
Cohesive.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was special. It was special. And now they're looking. I mean, they look at. I mean, turnovers, right? I mean, they can't have that with this offense. They can't have turnovers. You throw an interception, you give up a fumble right before half. It costs you points. Literally, it
Yeah.
costs you points. So yeah, they can't have it. Hey, but shout out to Quinn Ewers, man. Right, he was a Buckeye for a day. He still called Michigan that team up north, and because of that, he kind of like I'm feeling really good about his performance, man. But that's exciting to me that he get that moment still to go to the big house and put on the show for the opposing team. That's what's up.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers, top NIL finesser. I thought he came to Ohio
Yeah,
State, got his bread and went off to Texas, got his bread again. But like you mentioned, he still calls Michigan that team up north, so he still has a little bit of that in him, right? He still knows what it means to go out there and defeat that team up north, and he's playing well. I think Quinn Ewers is a top 5 college quarterback. Maybe he's top 3. Maybe some may argue he's number 1 or number 2. But he's definitely been showing it today. Make no mistake about it. There's some talented guys on this Michigan defense. They don't have the benefit of knowing the plays prior, but they can play football. And Quinn Ewers has done a great job of moving in the pocket, finding the open guys, extending the play when need be, making solid decisions, and taking care of the football for the most part. So, for sure, shout out to him. He's having a great game. I think this kind of starts his
right.
Heisman campaign, honestly.
I mean, right. I mean, a game this early, winning it, you put a big number, especially if you blow them out on the road. I mean, that's definitely put you number one in the Heisman category right there, right? So obviously, we'll see how it goes because us Buckeyes, we got some big games. We'll see how things go there and things shake out. But what are you thinking about this second half? Is it going to be more of the same? Is it going to be a complete blowout, or do you think Michigan maybe fight back a little bit, maybe do a little something
Yeah.
to get that close a little bit score, or do you think this is it? This is the max Michigan has, and they're going to take this L.
Yeah, I would have to believe that they made some adjustments on defense and that they tighten things up a little bit on defense. But unfortunately, I don't think they have it on offense. Like I just don't think they have it. You got to think this is early in the year, new quarterback, new offense, new guys on the offensive line. They're still trying to mesh together, and they got a big game against Texas. Like last year's schedule was better suited for this team than this year's schedule. And I think this is one of their key games to learn and figure out who they're going to be moving forward. Like how do they split reps between those two quarterbacks? And I think the way they finish the second half is really going to be the key lesson for what they do moving forward, and it's going to be a hard lesson. It's going to be a hard.
To be honest, Chef, I don't think they have it, man. I think this is about to get ugly, and I say that because of leadership, right? I mean, they lost. If it's one thing we know, we talk about the skill and how they replace some talent, sure. But when it comes to the coaches, they didn't replace those guys, right? You talk about a Harbaugh who has been in every situation as a coach. You lose your defensive coordinator. You lost a lot of guys, and that leadership is no longer there. So we got new guys kind of going at it in their own way of fashion. And be frank, they just don't have the experience. Coach Moore don't have the experience of being down a lot at halftime and trying to rally the bunch. So I think this is going to get ugly. I think Texas is going to keep running it up. I think it's going to be a game where it just end up being a lot to a little, and we get to poke fun at Michigan for the coming weeks because we know that they're no longer that team that they were last year when they had special assistants on the sideline, for sure.
Yeah, I think you hit it. They don't have the experience. They don't have the foundation. What was the saying by Harbaugh, born on third base? Well, I think this is one of those cases where you got a coach who, I mean, to his credit, when he was put in position to lead the team, he led the team, right? But now he's going to have to experience what what it feels like to run a team, and he doesn't have nothing to pull from, right? He doesn't have nothing to pull from. So this is going to be his future experience, and it's going to be some hard lessons. We got some people in the chat. Ohio Refugee says no signs, no wins. Hook 'em, right?
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Who was it that said that they like to see Michigan go undefeated when they play Ohio State, and they hate the SEC? Yeah. It's I used to be of the mindset that I want Michigan riding high going into the Ohio State game, and then I want to knock them off their high horse, right? I'm not of the mindset of that anymore. I want them to get beat down.
Mm-hmm.
I want them walking into the Ohio State already downtrodden, already giving up, right? I don't want them to have any hope at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone the other route the last couple of years, and I didn't like it. So
right. I want Coach Moore. They say he got that pending contract. He got that pending contract situation going on with the Michigan University. I want that contract to stay pending. Like I want that contract up in the air, man. Make him earn every inch, and if they don't improve, you go ahead and move on. Because once again, he don't have the experience. I mean, what is he? I mean, he in that situation. We'll see how it goes. But right now, it's not going very well. So I just want that to kind of keep on riding high on that, man, for sure.
What is your I'm gonna ask the chat here, but what is your final score prediction? Now that it's 24-3. What do you think it ends up being?
I think it ends up being 30-18. I think Michigan gets a touchdown. Texas kind of takes the air out the game, run the ball here. They kind of make Michigan kind of figure out how to do something. I think they might get maybe in the fourth quarter, later in the fourth quarter, Michigan actually gets a touchdown just due to Texas kind of taking the foot off the gas. maybe they put the backups in. Let some of the young guys, some of the young recruits get some reps in a big time game in a big time situation. Let them play on national TV. So I'm taking the 38-10. Texas kind of, like I say, takes the air out the ball and have a nice easy cruise on victory in the big house, and they go on for the rest of the season. What you got?
Yeah, I think something similar. 31-10. I'm thinking, from Texas standpoint, their pathway to giving up this game is really Michigan playing great defense and them turning the ball over, and giving Michigan life. So they're not going to want to do that. Take care of the ball, and then Michigan on the other side, they don't really have offense at this point. I think they draw up something in the dirt the second half. They try to figure out a way to scheme their way into the end zone maybe once. But I think that's about it. I think this game is over. Both teams kind of move forward, end the game, and figure out and get prepared for next week. One more thing. There's a battle between Penn State right now and Bowling Green. I don't know what the score is currently. If y'all know the score, please let us know. But Bowling Green and Penn State, Penn State, the team that's always famous for not being quite good enough to be
top tier one.
But you don't expect them to drop one against Bowling Green. But right now, I think they're down 24-20. What do you make of that?
I say Drew Ayler,
I think I lost you for a second here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if everybody else can see you. I currently can't hear you right now. But yeah, we got Sonny in the chat. Sonny says 35-3 final score. Yeah, I think somewhere around there. I don't think it ends up being close at all. I don't think Michigan makes a real run. I don't think they have the ability to. I think this game is over with. I'm curious to see how Penn State finishes. I don't want to see Penn State go down this early in the season. There's no reason why they should be in a dogfight with Bowling Green. But we'll see how that ends up. I think the big games I'm looking forward to the rest of the day are Colorado versus Nebraska, another Big Ten game. I have to say I kind of want to see Colorado win. I want them to be relevant. I want Deion to be relevant. I think he brings a lot of excitement to college football. And then later on today, obviously we got the big Ohio State night game versus Western Michigan. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll go live again. But in terms of what I want to see from Ohio State, a little bit more of what I saw in the second half of last game. I think one of the key things that I'm kind of following is the defense and the defensive play calls. I don't know how close you guys paid attention to the pass rush of this Ohio State defense, but in week 1, the defensive ends got one-on-ones against the tackles, and they were beating these guys. They were hitting the quarterback. And it felt a little bit different than what we saw around this time last year. Last year, if you look at it in total, I think the sack total for the year was about 28 sacks, which is very, very low compared to, let me go back to like 2019. I think they might have had like 40, 50 sacks or something crazy, right? And then that year, you got, I think, Chase Young's the senior year. You got some guys, you got some dogs, right? We haven't seen that level of defensive end play. But I'm gonna talk more about that later. Let's get back to the second half of this Michigan game versus Texas. See how this one closes out. There's one more chat in here. What does it say? Harder to play defense when you don't know the offensive play call in advance. I agree. And to those like Joe Clatt and others who've played football who say, yeah, knowing the signals is one thing, but you still have to execute. You still have to play. Well, listen, when you play defense, knowing is a big part of being able to play fast. It's really that simple. Like, knowing what you're about to get allows you to play fast. It doesn't ensure that you're going to be able to stop the play and make the play. because you still have to play your responsibility. You still have to do the things you're supposed to do, because the offense can react if you try to jump something too quick or whatever. So it may not feel like they just sold out for a certain play because they knew the play, because the offense can react if you overreact to knowing something. However, the speed in which you can play is so much faster when you have a 60, 70, 80% confidence that this is the play, right? If I know it's going to be a screen, I may not know it's a tight end screen. I may not know for sure what type of screen it is, but I know it's a screen. I still got to take my drop, but I'm going to trigger so much fast. It feels like this team doesn't have the same level of confidence, speed on the defense that they've had, but they still have the same talent. So, it could be a number of things. It could be the new defensive coordinator. It could be the fact that the offense that they're against has had really good field position all game, et cetera, right? So there's a lot of layers to it, but at the same time, this is just not the same defense that we saw last year. It's just not. It's just not, man. It's a little bit surprising to me too, because I do believe they got some high-level talented players on their defense. And Texas is just not making them look like that. So let's get back to the second half. Thanks for everyone tuning in. Somebody said Joe Clapp. Same one surprised by Joe Clapp. I'm really not surprised by Clapp. I mean he's hired by Fox. Obviously, Michigan brings in a lot of viewership. You don't want to keep piling on a school that is going to pretty much pay your salary, right? So that makes sense. But still, you want to have some integrity, right? You just keep it 100 when it comes down to playing football. Does knowing a play call have an impact? Yes. So don't insult our intelligence. And I'm not talking about the people who play the game, just people who don't even have the football experience. Anybody can understand that knowing something that you previously wouldn't have known can give you an advantage. So don't insult people's intelligence when it comes to talking about whether or not stealing signs at an advanced level wouldn't have an impact. So anyway, appreciate y'all tuning in. May go live one more time to give my final reaction to the game and also preview the Buckeye game. Not sure if Brian, who's right now, he's in Columbia. He's out there having a good time. So I'm not sure if he'll be able to get on or not, but we'll see. All right, y'all.